Hey y'all, today we are at one of my very favorite tile shops here in Austin, Texas, Cle Imports, and I am with a sales and design consultant, Devin.
Hi, it's nice to see you.
Yes, I'm so happy to have you here. Today we are going to be talking about pros and cons of concrete tile. So concrete tile has been really popular for the last couple of years. I personally love it. I spec'd it in my own tiny house and also with commercial spaces. I love it. But we're going to just talk about some of the pros and cons because my job is to educate you, and then I'm also going to rely on Devin to add to that expertise here. So let's just jump right into it.
Let's do it.
So pros. My favorite thing about concrete tiles is all the patterns and color choices that it comes in.
There's tons of patterns, really traditional patterns that are hundreds of years old, and also really modern, reintroduced patterns. So you have so much variety to choose from, and we can do all kinds of different custom colors and options, so it's unlimited.
There's really something for every style, whether you're modern, traditional, Spanish Mediterranean, so it runs the gamut on style. So that's a real huge pro.
Big plus.
Yeah, so the second thing is durability, y'all.
Yes, so the cement tile is incredibly durable. So it is a very thick tile. It's about 5/8 of an inch thick. The color does run a little bit thicker into the tile as opposed to like a ceramic tile where it's just painted on. And that gives you a lot of options as to if you do get a little chip in it, you're gonna have that color that shows through as opposed to another tile where the body would show through if you were to get it chipped.
Absolutely, so it's rock solid, really, really durable solution for tile. Now the third thing is, and this is kind of one of my favorite things about this tile, the authenticity. So when I'm speccing materials for a client, I love using materials that are real, that are authentic. And so concrete, it's authentic. It's a real material made from the earth. And so one thing with that though is that it can patina, and I actually love this factor. This tile will like age in wear in the space, and I love that quality and characteristic because it just gives it more character and authenticity.
Yeah, definitely. And so cement tile starts off really clean and pretty, and then over time it just slowly patinas. We do have an example here for you. This is straight out of the box, and then this has been outside over time. It just gets that really nice characteristic, really umps up the variation that comes with cement tile.
So the fourth and final quality I love is that this is an energy efficient tile. Now that may sound kind of funny, but the way that it's manufactured is actually takes less energy than a ceramic or porcelain because when you're making those tiles, they're actually fired, and so you're using more energy, and then you don't have as many emissions because this is a poured material.
So it's hand poured. All of the colors are hand poured into a mold, and then it is hydraulically pressed and then water cured. So no firing involved. There's no emissions. They're handmade, so they come off the press and they get put in the boxes and they're good to go.
And so y'all know I love handmade things, and to me this is such a cool quality about this local shop. They source and responsibly sourced materials from Mexico, Turkey, and Vietnam. And I love that the owner of this shop knows where these tiles are coming from, knows the people that are making it, and knows that they've been made in a good environment that's healthy for the actual person making the tile. And so that's a really important thing when you're picking your products, to know where it comes from, who makes it, are those people being treated fairly. These are all really important things to consider because money is power, like we talked about, and so this is important.
And if you are going to put money towards a really nice handmade product, you should know that it's being responsibly sourced, and we visit our factories all the time to check in and make sure everybody's doing all right there.
Yeah, okay, yay. So we'll skip over to the other side, which I don't even want to call it cons because I personally love these tiles, but our job is to educate and make you aware. No material for anything is ever going to be perfect. So one of the challenges of concrete tile can be that the installation can be trickier and it might cost a little bit more to install, but in the end, it's a beautiful product. So one of the things that I know from our own kitchen is that it's a 5/8 inch thick tile, so that's much thicker.
Definitely much thicker than your average tile.
And heavier.
And heavier. So if you are applying it to a wall, you do need to make sure that your wall can withstand the weight of that tile. Also, when it comes to flooring, you are gonna have to make sure that your whatever you're transitioning to for your other flooring, that you do have a good transition piece to where you're not going to be knocking it with your toes or anything like that.
Point number 2 is that concrete tile is it's a porous material, so it actually can stain. So
Yes.
for my example, like at home, I have this tile on the wall in the kitchen, and because of it's lighter and because we haven't properly sealed it, not gonna fly. So I know we can sand those stains out, but properly sealing a concrete tile is really, really important. So
Yes.
I wanted to ask you guys, for the people viewing at home, what is the proper sealing regimen, and how often, and what product do you recommend using?
Absolutely. So we recommend a sealant called 511 Porous Plus. That sealant is going to keep the colors as true to the original tile and is going to keep it as matte as possible, because that's one of the characteristics people love about cement tile.
Definitely.
And so we do recommend that first you lay them all out and you seal them once without them being adhered to anything. And then once they're adhered, you seal it one more time. And then once they're grouted, you seal once more. So 3 times total.
During installation alone?
All during installation. And then periodically, it really depends on the traffic that's involved with the space. Usually walls, it's not as much. But especially with floors, you will have to reseal just periodically. And you can really tell if you have any liquid on the surface. You can usually just try it with water. If it seems like it's soaking in really quickly, it's time to reseal that tile.
Okay. So are you thinking, like, is it every 2 to 3 times a year in terms of
It can be if it's going to be like outdoor use, anything
Or
like
high
that,
traffic.
or really high traffic.
So if it's low traffic, is it like 1 to 2
You could
times
do
a year?
or like once a year, once
Okay.
every 2 years, and it also depends on how quickly you want that patina to happen. If
Definitely.
you're trying to like avoid it, then just keep resealing it. And the
Okay.
sealing process is pretty easy. A lot of people are standoffish about the sealing process because it sounds like a lot of work, and it's really not. Most installers should know kind of what we're talking about. It's
Totally.
essentially just putting it on a sponge. You put it in a bucket, you get the sponge into the bucket, and you just wipe down that tile. If there's anything kind of buildup of the sealer on there, you just wipe it down with a rag, and then you just let it dry.
Okay. It sounds really
Yeah,
easy.
it's pretty simple.
It's just one thing to add to the list in terms of maintenance for your home, but to me it's worth it because these tiles are so beautiful.
Yes, definitely.
So the last thing on my, if we call it a con list,
Yes.
is that because these are a material made from the earth, it's concrete, it is going to be susceptible to the environment. So if you're considering putting, a concrete tile on exterior, patio or porch, I would just really think about, are you going to be okay if it cracks when it gets really cold? That's something. I also wanted to mention, I have used concrete tiles in commercial spaces in some of the restaurants that I've designed, and you want to think about high traffic areas
Right.
too, because a lighter tile like this is going to show more traffic and that
Definitely.
patina over time. So if you're in a commercial setting where you want everything to always feel kind of pristine, I would personally recommend, just from experience, starting with a concrete tile that's kind of a darker gray or
Definitely.
darker color, so that it hides some of those like scuffs
Absolutely.
that come from your heels.
And going back to the patina, when it is in such a high traffic or high susceptibility to elements area, definitely you're going to see that patina process going rapidly.
Faster.
Yeah, definitely. And so I would definitely be careful. There's also little hairline cracks happen indoors, outdoors. It doesn't change the integrity of the tile at all. That's just the characteristic of it. But when you see those big cracks coming, that means it probably the tile's got to come up a little bit.
Okay.
and
Yeah.
get it
So just
replaced.
things to be aware
Definitely.
of. But to me, it's worth it because that means it's an authentic product. I personally
Definitely.
love the patina characteristic. Now, if if after you've learned all of this and you're like, I don't want to deal with the sealing, or I don't want to deal with the potential for cracking, there is another cool option that we're going to end on, and that is
Yes.
a clay material.
So we have started taking these encaustic patterns and putting them on a ceramic body. So you're gonna get that really awesome pattern. And we did do like a really light sheen, a semi-gloss sheen on it. And so that's gonna really mimic the cement tile when it's first installed, first sealed. And
It has that vibrant
yeah,
color.
Exactly. And so This is pretty much a plug and go option. You just used a pre-sealed grout and installs like any other ceramic tile.
And is this a 1/2 inch thick?
It's a 3/8 of an inch thick, so much easier for transitions.
Much easier. And if you're in a remodel situation where you just literally cannot drop this up floor, this could be a really good option.
Yes,
or
absolutely.
a good option for commercial settings. So.
Yeah, and especially also I'll mention a lot of people really care about white with really contemporary design. And so if you want your whites to stay white, going to an option that isn't going to patina might be a little bit better for you if that's what your preference is.
That is such a great tip. So Devin, thank you for
letting us
coming. Yeah, this was so much fun. And so you guys, if you live locally in Austin, please come check out Cle Imports. I honestly love this team. We buy from them all the time, and they have beautiful I can literally sit in here all night. So I will not keep y'all, but thank you so much for joining us. If you're inspired and you're learning, please hit the subscribe button, and we will see you here next week. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, guys.
I probably need to wash my hair.
Same. I put a little saltilla dust in it before we started.
Did you really?
Yeah. I really did.
Don't judge me, but
does it work like dry shampoo?
This is the first time I've tried it.
I wish that could not be in an outtake. You are. That's going to be in the outtake.